Welcome back to Elisha Space. Hello, everyone. I'm Elisha. I am a counselor and I am just passionate about exploring mental health, self growth, and finding joy in everyday life. Today, we're diving into a question that's as old as time. What makes us truly happy? But is that the full story? Stick with me because we're not just touching the surface, we're diving deep into perspectives from psychology, counseling, and what I've learned from working with people on their emotional journeys. So, first, let's address the elephant in the room, the myths about happiness. So many of us grow up believing that happiness comes from external things, like reaching a dream job, owning a bigger house, or even having the perfect relationship. And don't get me wrong, those things can feel good. But guess what? Research from positive psychology in particular shows that external achievements account for only about 10% of our overall happiness. Seriously, just 10%. Meanwhile, social media often amplifies this idea, making it seem like other people are living these perfect lives that we think will make us happy. But happiness isn't a picture perfect moment, it's something deeper. So, what does science say about what real happiness looks like? Okay, so if achievements, possessions, and appearances aren't the key to lasting happiness, what is? Here's what research and counseling work tell us. One thing to note is that relationships matter most. Studies consistently find that meaningful connections are the biggest predictor of long-term happiness. Whether it's friends, family, or even coworkers, having a sense of belonging and support is key. A second item is purpose over pleasure. Our happiness often comes from having a sense of purpose, something bigger than yourself. It could be volunteering, creating art, growing a family, or even tackling a challenge at work. When people have a sense of why, they tend to report higher life satisfaction. A third is gratefulness and mindfulness. People who make a habit of gratitude, like writing down 3 things they're thankful for every day, tend to feel more positive emotions. Practicing mindfulness or staying present in the moment can also help you savor the little joys. Now let's discuss what some barriers to happiness, what that can look like. Now, as someone who works with people navigating mental health challenges, I want to acknowledge that happiness isn't as always an easy or immediate goal. Sometimes the barriers are real. That can look like fear of being vulnerable in relationships, comparing ourselves to others, or holding on to unresolved pain from the past. The good news is these aren't deal breakers when it comes to happiness. They're simply areas we need to process and heal through self-awareness, getting some counseling, as well as having that needed support. One helpful exercise I often share with clients is identifying what truly energizes you versus what only adds stress or exhaustion. So start thinking about how you can intentionally add more of those energizing activities into your daily life. Think about what brings you joy and add more to that. So here are some practical tips to cultivate happiness. Now, let's talk about what these actionable steps you can look like in order to boost your happiness today. So, one thing I would suggest is investing in our relationships. Schedule that coffee date, call up your old friend, and set aside some uninterrupted time for your family. I highly emphasize celebrating the small wins. Life is made up of tiny victories, so acknowledge them. And completing that task you've been dreading, well, that's worth celebrating. And the small wins always lead to those big wins, don't they? A third item is practice gratitude. Start or end your day by writing down a few things you're thankful for. It trains your brain to focus on the positive. A fourth item is prioritizing self care. Remember that self care isn't selfish. Taking care of yourself, whether that's through exercise, hobbies, or quiet time, is part of building a happy life. And then lastly, make sure that you seek the necessary support when needed. Finally, happiness doesn't mean avoiding difficulties. Sometimes working with a counselor or therapist is the best way to navigate challenges and uncover what happiness truly means to you. At the end of the day, happiness isn't about chasing something outside of ourselves. It's about cultivating meaning, connection, and gratitude in the life we already have. So here is my question to you. What's one thing that makes you truly happy? Let me know in the comments. If you found today's video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more conversations about mental health and self-growth. And until next time, take care of yourself and remember, you are worthy of joy.